I showed up with enough stuff to last me for a weekend, but didn't end up going home for another 923 days. When I look back now, the trade-off, you know, I wouldn't exchange it for anything. I'm Emily Penn. I'm a skipper and ocean advocate. I've spent the last 12 years sailing around the world studying plastic pollution in our ocean. I really loved maths and science, but also art and drawing and kind of being creative. So architecture seemed like the perfect career, and was set up for a new job in Melbourne when I finished my architecture degree at Cambridge. I decided I wanted to get to this new job, which was 14,000 miles away from where I was in the UK, but without taking an aeroplane. And that's when I came across this project called Earth Race. It was a boat running on 100% biofuel, so fuel had come from all sorts of renewable sources. And they were about to go around the world to visit 120 cities to talk to schools and politicians all about renewable energy and the environment. I wrote to the skipper and he asked me to join them for a weekend. And I thought at first that it was my ticket to Australia to get to this new job as an architect. But it ended up triggering an entirely new career I was never expecting to have. We were heading across the Pacific on Earth Race when we stopped the boat in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. I found a toothbrush was floating by. Looked like it'd been in the ocean for a while. And then I saw a bottle top and more plastic all around me, and then hundreds of tiny fragments of plastic in between. We were 800 miles from nearest land. And yet there was this waste. That was the moment for me when I started thinking, this doesn't make any sense. There's no explanation for what's going on out here. And so that's what I wanted to start and find out.
She reacted to what happened on that voyage, and there was this sort of epiphany.
I really started to learn more about how the plastic was really affecting us, and the fact that it was breaking down into these tiny fragments, and that the fish that we were then catching were actually mistaking this plastic for food. If that plastic was getting into the fish, into the food chain, the same food chain that we are at the top of, then what might that mean for us and our own health? And this, for me, opened up a whole new series of questions. And that's when X-Expedition was born. X-Expedition is a series of all-women sailing voyages looking at plastic and toxic pollution. We set off in October 2019 to sail 38,000 nautical miles around the planet. So we've got 300 women from 50 nationalities joining us for this circumnavigation. The issue that we're tackling is marine plastic pollution. 8 million tons a year finds its way down streams, drains, rivers, and ultimately everything runs downhill to the ocean.
Everybody ready? Yep. 1, 3.
On each voyage, we might have a scientist, a filmmaker, a journalist, an artist, a teacher, a policymaker.
It's the women on board that really, that camaraderie, that motivation to all want to do something to make a difference is really motivating.
I think when you see the problem for yourself firsthand, when you're in 3,000 miles from land and seeing all these tiny particles of plastic coming from the ocean, you can't help but be affected by that.
What we realise with tackling this plastics issue is that there's not one thing that we can do to solve the problem. The good news is there are hundreds of solutions, and they come from all different sectors of society. And therefore we need people from every angle working together to tackle this plastics issue. So my job that I have now, it's not a very typical job. Basically, I find one day I'm a skipper of a boat, the next day I'm a scientist, the next day I'm a communicator or a teacher, and there's really so many different things to it, and that's also what I love. We actually have one ocean, and we share it. It's all 7.8 billion of us, whether we live in a landlocked country or we live in a coastline. We all have this shared responsibility for the sea. There were certainly moments when I look back where a lot of my friends who I graduated with were getting these hotshot jobs, and instead I'm out here picking up plastic, basically being a rubbish lady. And I shared this with my dad at one point. You know, maybe I should be actually back at home, moving on with my career. And I remember him saying to me, the point is, you're the one out there. You must be there for a reason.
Training in the gym is important for your game because it improves your resiliency and reduces your risk for injury. The moves translate to tennis because the game exists in 3 dimensions. You move forward, backwards, you move side to side. Sometimes it's quickly, sometimes it's slowly, but these moves are going to help develop your ability to get to the ball faster. Hey, I'm Coach Dave. We are here at the Adidas gym. We're going to take you through 6 exercises you can do off court to improve your tennis game. I've got Kofi here who's going to help us demo the exercises. The first move is a squat jump. So with the squat jump, the goal is to develop explosive power that you can use up, down, side to side, front, back on the court. First, he's going to start with his hands up to the sky. He's going to throw his hands down to the floor, throw his hands back up to the ceiling as he jumps as high as he can, and then the landing is soft, full, flat foot, hands back, hips back. So we'll start hands up, throw the hands down, explode up, soft landing, and reset. Reach, throw the hands down, explode up, nice soft landing. Perfect. One more time. Down, explode up, soft landing, and that is the squat jump. This next move is sprint to back pedal. We're using lines, and if you don't have lines, I want you to set up cones 5 to 10 meters apart. You use this move to develop your ability to change direction forward, backward on the court. We're gonna start with Kofi in the athletic base stance. He's gonna sprint forward 3 steps, plant foot slightly turned in, and he's gonna backpedal hard and fast. Let's start athletic base position. Ready, sprint, plant, and backwards. This move is a continuous lateral bound. The goal is to develop explosive strength laterally, which will help you directly on the court. What I want you to do is spend as little time on the ground as possible, exploding laterally as far as possible. So Kofi's gonna start loading on the left leg. He's gonna bound to the right leg as far as he can and back to the left. Continuous, we're gonna do a few more reps. Soft landing to stop, and that's your continuous lateral bound. These next moves are called Ys, Ts, and Ws. We use them to develop upper back and shoulder strength. These are gonna help your tennis serve and your fore and backhand strokes. To do these, we're gonna shift the hips back, hinging at the hips, chest down towards the floor, and we're gonna bring the arms up into a Y position, squeezing the shoulders, thumbs to the ceiling, bringing it back down into a T position, focus on rotating at the shoulders, and then a W position, bent elbows, focuses on trying to get the thumbs as high as possible. And those are your Ys, Ts, and Ws. This next sequence is a 3-way lunge. We're gonna use this move to develop lower body strength in 3 directions. Your ability to decelerate, to explode, and to change directions. First move is a forward lunge. Kofi's gonna step forward with his right foot, landing on a flat foot, exploding back to the start position, stepping out into a lateral lunge, keeping that foot flat, exploding back, and then reverse lunge. You can load this move up with dumbbells or kettlebells if you are an advanced trainee. This next move is a plank with rotation. We're gonna use this to develop strength in the shoulders, torso, and hips, and specifically the obliques, which are gonna help you absorb force in your racket swings. We're gonna start in a plank position with the thumbs touching, feet slightly wider than hips. Kofi is going to rotate his left hand to the sky, following it with his eyes, and he's gonna end up on the sides of his feet, rotating back down, match hands, rotating right hand to the sky, following with the eyes. Slow and in control, left up to the sky. People should prepare their mind and body for training by recognizing that consistency is key and that you don't get everything from one workout, from one meal, from one night of sleep. It requires long-term commitment. Because the stronger you are off court, the more likely you are to be able to express that strength on the court and making you a better athlete.
I felt at home right away in Cape Town. There's a really open quality in people who live by the ocean. The people here have a real sense of fun, of relaxation, lightness of touch. Everywhere you look, there's real style and originality, and I think it's hard not to get caught up in it. It's got amazing food, incredible aromas and color, all the things that make life rich. But I keep getting drawn back to the mountain. It's a unique and incredible thing to have a mountain like that right in the center of a city. I mean, up there you can really feel the vibrancy of this city and its people. I find it so inspiring.
August 18th, 1227. Genghis Khan, one of the world's greatest conquerors, dies. At the time, the Mongol Empire founded by Khan stretched across Asia. 1920. Tennessee ratifies the 19th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, guaranteeing women's right to vote. That step gives the amendment the approval of enough states in order to take effect. 1963. James Meredith becomes the first African American to graduate from the University of Mississippi. Meredith's registration as the university's first black student followed a legal battle and deadly riots on campus. 1958. Vladimir Nabokov's novel Lolita is first published in the United States. The tale about a middle-aged man's sexual obsession with his teenage stepdaughter still sparks controversy to this day. 1934. Roberto Clemente, one of the first Latin American baseball stars in the United States, is born in Puerto Rico. And 1937.
Do you think if I come back it's going to be okay by magic? What's going to be changed? What's going to be different? We'll both be wrong. We'll both lose.
Actor and director Robert Redford is born in Santa Monica, California. Among his on-screen roles, Butch Cassidy in The Sundance Kid, The Sting, All the President's Men, and Out of Africa. Redford is also the founder of the Sundance Film Festival, aimed at showcasing works by independent filmmakers. Today in History, August 18th. Camille Bohannon, The Associated Press.
Welcome back in our studio, and in today's news,